Welcome to Bishop's Roundtable, hosted by Bishop Anthony Thompson. Bishop Roundtable is a weekly program dedicated to giving local community leaders an opportunity to talk about events and situations that affect communities here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Bishop's Roundtable is a production of Kingdom ICDC, the group that ensures positive community development on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Now, here's your host.
Good afternoon and welcome here at the Bishop's Roundtable. I have two lovely guests with me. I have Miss Mariah and I have Miss Lauren. Miss Mariah, can you kind of tell them a little bit about yourself and what you like to do?
Well, I hope to be an actress. I like just drawing. I like reading and yeah.
Okay. Miss Lauren?
Well, I like sports, just in doing anything around the house, in my room, like dancing and all that. When I get older, I want to be in the service.
Okay, why the service? Why did you choose that field?
I just want to, of course, I have to serve my country, but I like the whole thing about it. I'm in JRTC now, and it's not that, but we touch on it a little bit more, and I feel like it's the right thing to do.
What about you? Why did you choose what you chose?
I don't know. I feel like my purpose is to create and spread positive energy.
Okay. So, if I ask you guys a question, and you know, one of the things I always do is a lot of times people ask me, and Stansbury can tell you, a lot of times people ask me, well, what's the script? I don't go by script. There may be some time when I may go by script, but I don't really go by script because I want nobody to practice. I want people to come from the heart when they talk. And so if I ask you a question about the dream, something that Dr. Martin Luther King, because his birthday is coming up, it's going to be coming up Monday. If I ask you something about the dream and Dr. Martin Luther King, what do you know about him? Starting with you, Miss Mariah.
Well, he had a lot of courage to fight for what he believed is right.
Okay. Miss Lauren?
That's what Mariah said.
Yeah. And a lot of times people don't know Dr. Martin Luther King. Let me tell you a story about here in Gulfport. Most of everybody in here goes to Harrison Central in the school district. But there was a time when they didn't want us at Harrison Central. I mean, there was a big riot. They had to bring in the National Guard. They used to ride through North Gulfport, you know, around the Civil Rights Movement, bust watermelons on our cars, and just have us on pin down. So a lot of things, even around that time, so when Dr. Martin Luther King came along, then people started to be liberated. People started to get courage. People started to fight back. And then when people started to fight back, that's when they called North Gulfport Little Vietnam. I don't know if y'all ever heard that term before, but they used to call North Gulfport Little Vietnam because, you know, there was a lot of fighting, a lot of killing, all that stuff that went out. So as a dream, do you see yourself as being a part of that dream? And how so, if you do?
I do.
You do? So I think that, okay, let me ask you this question. Did you look at some of the stuff that went on in D.C. when they stormed the Capitol?
Yes, sir.
Being a soldier in the U.S. government, that means that you are, they call you a GI, which means government issue. Now, you're in the military. These are American citizens that's doing that. If you was called upon, could you fire upon them?
Yes, sir.
You could? Okay. All right. Yeah, because that's one of the things that we have to look at because when you're in the military, sometimes it has no boundaries. I know a guy named Stanley years ago. He was in Vietnam. And so they had overrun another camp and they could hear him in the night being just tortured and killed. But they couldn't get to him because it was night. So the next morning they got up, they went to a camp. They killed everybody in the camp, kids and all. So Stanley was the only one that did not fire a shot. And his company commander was going to shoot him in the head. But I think something distracted him because he didn't fire a shot. You're going to shoot somebody because they were killing babies and everything. But later on, you know, they came and they did an interview on Stanley. And that officer that did that, well, he got court-martialed, prison time and all that. So You know, that's some of the hard questions you're going to have to answer because as being a military person, you know. What about the acting? You want to be an actress, right?
Yes.
So, what if somebody asks you to act a part that you're not coming with, that you don't agree with? Or can you walk away, or would you take the script just because it's a movie, it's your first movie?
I wouldn't, like, just because I don't believe that it's right. Like, I just wouldn't feel comfortable doing it, so.
Mm-hmm. And I like that part, especially with Denzel Washington. He turned down the script, and Sidney Porter turned down the script because it just didn't fit their character. They did just something they wasn't raised to do. And you'll be tested in that area a lot of different times because there's going to be some things out there. People and especially in your field, you have to be extra careful because people will come in and promise you this and promise you that. You know, especially when you have a young lady, and those are the things that you're going to have to be careful with. You know, get you a good agent, watch out for the wolves. You know what I'm saying? So if I come back now, so what can you do? You like sports. Give me an idea of what kind of sports you like.
Well, track is one.
Are you fast?
I wouldn't say I'm fast for track. I can say I can. I'd rather be slow than fast.
You think you can outrun me?
Probably.
Girl, I got my son one. I like to tell stories. I got my son one time, and so I told him I was going to race him because he thought he was fast, and so I raced him, and I stopped, but I got him on the takeoff. I said, I won. He said, you didn't finish the race. I said, I didn't tell you how far. I can get you in the takeoff, So, but being in track, like I said, 200 meters is where you gain that speed at. That's where you get it at. So what can you do? What do you have in mind? What kind of show do you have in mind that's something that you would like to do?
I don't really have a show in mind. It's mainly movies and music.
What kind of movie? Tell me about the movie first.
Well, the first one I came up with was about how, I gained this resilience at a point in my life. And I just wanted to tell, that story, how the clouds just kind of opened up.
How you gain resilience.
Yeah.
So you went through a point in your life where you needed that?
Yeah.
Okay, I ain't going to make you cry on set today. Okay? But also, what about the singing? And I'm not going to put you on blast because if it was something, I did something like that one time. I want to hear you sing. That person blasted out, man, and started singing. I'd like to shut up. You going to sing for us?
I don't.
Yeah, my son want to hear you sing.
I think I need more practice.
So, what about, if it's in the acting field, what about stage, where you sing, like something that Tyler Perry used to do, used to sing and do that. So what about that?
Yeah, I would do that.
Okay. Can you dance?
I haven't really had any experience dancing.
So you need to get with her then, right? Huh? Sometime. Oh, can you dance? Who in here, anybody else in the audience, can y'all dance? Oh, she can? Uh-oh. We're going to have you do a look. Okay. All right. But, another thing is a part of the dream. This is what I want the young people, even the people in the audience, what I want you to think about, especially for young people, is creating an economic base. Okay? An economic base. That is creating an economy that you can be more than just an actor. You can be more than just in the military. So you want to create an economic base. So if there's something that you can give back, if there's a cause that you can give back to, even in the military, what would that be? What is something that you're passionate about giving back to?
The community.
The community? Okay. How do you feel about the community that you live in? I know in our area it's not really that bad, but how do you feel about your community? What can you do to make a difference? What would you like to see that's different?
Less gang violence.
Less gang violence? Yeah, that's one of the ones. What about you? What would you give back to? If you can give back to something, what would that be?
Through acting, I would want to give back, just put positive thoughts into people's heads and, encourage things that are good and not bad and to open people's eyes.
So how do you feel? How can you do that? And you have an idea of how you think you can do that?
Yeah, you can do it through music and dance and just art and writing and everything.
So your music would be more positive?
Yeah.
Okay.
It might have like darker meanings, but it would still be like positive.
So what kind of field are you choosing in the military? I mean, what field do you want to go off into?
I wanted to do Air Force, but I think I'll go to National Guard.
Did you want to be a pilot? You ever thought about being a pilot? You don't know for sure?
Yeah,
I got this lady, I'm going to let you meet her. Her name is Monica Bradshaw. She works out of my branch out of Utica, Mississippi. She retired. She's an African-American female. She retired as a lieutenant colonel. I mean, she went up the ranks and everything, was pretty good. So do you see yourself making a career out of it?
I can, but at the same time, I can't because I want to be like a dance teacher.
Okay. So what we need to do is get you some dance classes, right?
Yes, sir.
You and your friend over there get the dance class going? I'm gonna have to show y'all how to step. Y'all don't know how to dance. And we had to show you how to dance. So what are some of the, okay, tell me this. Do you think that there's any opportunities here on the Gulf Coast for you to really realize your dreams? Starting with you, Ms. Horn.
Yes, sir.
You think so? Okay. What about you?
Honestly, I don't really feel like there's any place that I can fulfill my career other than like learning at colleges and stuff. Like, I just don't feel like I have much of an opportunity here.
Okay. Well, that's about to change. Because, one of the things that we want to do at this building, and Stansbury, we'll talk about a little bit further, and I told you about GCM TV. We're going to be getting with Centrail. We're going to be putting together movies. I think the Mississippi Gulf Coast has a lot to offer because we have 26 miles of white sand beaches, and there's some things that you can put together. Do you see yourself producing one day or just doing the acting part?
I think if I produce my own movies, then yeah. But I also want to start acting first just so I can get experience, and then I'll just go from there.
Okay. So, how long do you stay in the mirror?
Only really when I'm getting ready.
Only when you're getting ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you this question. It's obvious that you're mixed. So what is your racial makeup?
Everything really.
That's what they just call a Heinz 57. I got everything in me.
Yeah, everything except for Hispanic and Asian, I think, at least.
Yeah, you think, you don't know for sure, huh? You have to shake the tree a little bit more.
Yeah.
So what about you? You're kind of brown skinned. What is your heritage? Just African American? Yeah, I mean, come on now. You're kind of brown skinned. I don't know now. Yeah, I mean that's one of the. Yeah, I remember one time I went to a club at Keystone Air Force Base, and I was in the military too. So I told them that we were black, and we were talking because these African guys were trying to talk to my sister. They were trying to date her and all of that. So, and they asked her what color we were. We told them we were black, and they told us we were what? We was not black. Y'all are not black. Y'all are African Americans. Y'all not black. Why not? Because they don't consider us as being true Africans. So those are some of the things you have to look at. You think it's important for you to know your heritage and where you come from?
Yes, sir.
So you got an assignment. Your assignment will be to find out, okay, what's your bloodline? Where'd you come from? I think that is vitally important because that is something. I know that I'm Choctaw Indian, and black. My grandmother was white and Indian, so we have that heritage. Do you have any, when it comes down to, I hear them talking on the bus sometimes, light skin versus dark skin. Y'all had that conversation too? I saw y'all had a conversation? What do you feel about that? I mean, have you experienced that when they talk about light skin versus dark skin?
Yeah, I've been in a conversation with someone talking about that. I don't really like it.
Okay, why not?
Everything's not about race.
Okay. It's not about race. Okay, what about you? You think now it's obvious that, because somebody asked me what, you're light-skinned, brown-skinned, or whatever, so do most people think you're African-American, or do they think you're Caucasian?
I don't know, because I've had people come up to me and ask if I was albino before, and all this crazy stuff. But I think most of the time they think light skin.
Light skin?
Yeah.
Yeah, just light skin?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, when I was in the military, of course, you know, some of the places when you're a certain skin, they used to think I was Puerto Rican. You know, they used to talk to me in Puerto Rican. Man, I don't even know what you're saying, but you know, I'm Puerto Rican. But so now I know this one thing. This is a question to ask. The girls. Why is it so hard? Because I hear a lot of girls say, I don't have a lot of girls as my friend. Why not? I mean, y'all may be different, though. I don't know. But I know some girls don't like a lot of other girls. Did y'all ever have to deal with that? And either one of you can answer that. Y'all have haters, right? Not that you know of? What about you?
Most of my friends are female, so, but I think people don't like having friends as females because it seems like in this generation, there's just lots of unnecessary drama that goes around, and it just prevents people from actually having a friendship.
And you know what? I don't know what it is. And, you know, and I have to, you know, I'm glad you said that because these girls, you know, these girls are, man, they, I was coming from the mall and the girl clipped the front of my truck and I had to pretty much run her down to catch her. And she got out the car going off, you know, on the phone, cussing, and, you know, hit the car. I said, girl, I had to run you down, you know. And she was just going off, and then I guess the owner of the car pulled up, you know, and they was going off. And just so happened that one of my riders told me, look, don't argue with them, just get back in the truck, you know. But I'm thinking that, and then another incident, I locked my keys in the truck this week, and I had to walk from Dido Road to Orange Grove to get the other set of keys. And right before I got, I guess it was designed for me to leave my keys locked up. So when I got to the stop sign, a car had hit, just scraped the car a little bit. And these three girls got out, going off. MF this, no. I said, look, y'all calm down. You know, calm down. Don't blow it out of proportion. Then, you know, when they calm down, you know, they worked it out. My thing is, they don't know the old me. You know what I'm saying? And they may not know the person that they was doing things to. That's why a lot of people end up getting capped. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these girls just going off. So, what is it? Is it the TV shows, the reality TVs? Does girls just feel like that they have to show themselves strong? I mean, you girls are pretty nice, but y'all got some friends out there that's probably like boom, boom, boom. So how do y'all handle that kind of drama?
I don't tolerate it.
Okay.
Yeah, stay away from it.
You stay away from it?
Yeah.
When you're different, it's obvious that you two are kind of different. You know, you're unique. Okay. How hard is it for you to stay unique? Do you have peer pressure when people want you to do what they do? How hard is it for you to maintain who you are? Now I know I talked to you, what you call Mimi. To Mimi, you start smiling about Mimi. That's my Mimi. And so Mimi is a Christian lady, right? She Christian, you know. She loved that word. You know how you came up, and you have to stay within those boundaries. Is that hard?
Well, at school, you have kids like to pick on you because of your beliefs.
Oh, really?
It's kind of hard, but I don't really let it get to me.
So are they more atheists, or what are they? They just don't.
More atheists.
More atheists? Oh, okay. All right. What about you? You have a certain religious belief, or?
Yeah, I'm Christian, but I'm also spiritual. So I believe in like angels and demons and evil and good, you know, that type of stuff. But I also believe like everything has energy and like you can use crystals and meditate and things like that.
Have you seen any of the demons yet? I don't see some. Have you seen any yet? I'm going to introduce you to some. I'm going to introduce you to some demons. I mean, really. I mean, I was being funny, but I have been at the point that, you know, I don't do a lot of it now. Since I've learned, they mostly hide themselves from me. But when I was learning, I used to have a lot of battles. I've seen people that were really possessed with demonic forces and being able to see things as something different. So, in your belief, and you being unique, do you have any problem because it's obvious that I see you coming to the bus, I see you at school, you dress different. I know you like pink. And, you know, I know that much. When you come out, you like pink. But I know you dress different than everybody else. How are you received when you dress, because you dress different? Do anybody say anything? Do they like it, or they just look at you crazy, or what?
It's a mix of all of them. Most of the people I've met like it. They say I look like a doll and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, like I've heard, like other people tell me that people in their class have said it's weird and like ask why do I dress like this. But honestly, I don't know. I just developed it, and I have a strong connection with how I dress, so I just learned to not really care what people.
Okay, explain that strong connection with how you dress. Because you connect with your outfits. Come on, explain that too. I know you got the spiritual thing going on, but kind of tell me about this connecting with the outfit.
Oh well, like I really like pastel colors. Like they make me feel happy, and they just, I don't know, they just really make me happy, and I don't know, just being in types of colors, it's kind of weird because it just makes me feel comfortable and makes me feel safe. And
now we're gonna get off into some other things, another show, because I want to dig off into that, making you feel happy. Because when I see something like that, sometimes there may be something going on the inside that a person has to do on the outside to bring out that joy that they may be experiencing something. We'll talk about that later on, okay? Okay. What about you being military? I mean, do you have to be macho girl?
No.
You don't have to be macho girl?
Some of the girls. Like I don't care.
Okay, because I do, when you think about, especially with military, okay, what do they say about you being in the military?
It's not for girls.
Oh, really?
You don't need to be here.
And that's something. That's the thinking. That's the thinking in the military. I've heard stories. I'm quite sure you can. There's a lot of different stories that go on about girls in the wartime and stuff like that. They're mistreated and all of that. So that's something that they think about. I think that you're gonna have to have a tough skin. When it comes to certain things. I mean, even with both careers, you're gonna have to have a tough skin. You're gonna have to love what you do so much that it does not matter what nobody else thinks. So do you feel like that you're tough enough to be in the military? Okay. And so, what makes you think you're tough enough? Because of me?
Like when.
Mimi. Okay.
Well, when I just don't let things to get to me like how I used to.
Okay.
I don't. See, that's the main problem with some of the girls now in JRTC. They let things get to them, and in the Army too.
Yeah.
And just.
Yeah, you gotta have, and like I said, even with you, in any field that you choose, you're gonna have to have that mental toughness. Mental toughness. This here prepares you for life, because if you can whip it up here, you can whip it anywhere else. And especially when it comes down to the acting field, there's so many things that you're gonna have to deal with. There's so many choices that you're gonna have to make. There's so many people that's gonna offer you things that they don't have nowhere to put you. But it's gonna have to take wisdom, and you. And both of you are going to have good friends around you. So, do you have good friends around you?
Yes, sir.
Tell me how you know that. They may be cool. How do you know they're good?
Well, they're not they don't talk about nothing but drama. Like, they help me out. Like, say I have homework. They'll help me out with my homework. I have a test coming up. Make sure that you study for your test. I have a game come up. Good luck on your game. And
what kind of game do you... What is you play?
Oh, I did ballet.
Oh, really?
Recital.
Okay. What about you? What kind of friends do you have around you?
All my friends, I try to spread positivity to them. And most of my friends, some of them have their own things going on, and I try to, support them as much as I can. I try to be, the positive light in their life if they're going through a lot. So
why do you feel like you need to be a positive light?
I feel like it's just...
Can you see that? I mean, sometimes they may talk about it, but can you see them without them saying anything? If you're all spiritual now, we'll get off to the spirit stuff. You should be, so you may have that seeing eye sometimes. Sometimes I can see people, because most of the time people won't tell you what they're feeling and what they're thinking. They can hide it. But if you can see spiritually, sometimes you can see things. Is that you? Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can definitely tell when someone is going through something. Like you can tell, but I don't know. I feel like there's too much negativity in the world, and I feel like I should be different from that.
Okay. What about you? Let's talk about your spiritual gift. What do you think your spiritual gift is? Can you sing?
No, sir.
Well, we gotta find some singers somewhere.
Like the same thing with her being a positive light.
Being a positive light. So how can you do that?
Well, like when my friends are having like a bad day, I would do something goofy to cheer them
Oh, okay.
up.
Is she goofy? She is?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's cool then. That's. I mean, you kind of get them to loosen up, in other words.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you goofy too?
Yeah, most of the time.
Well, that's pretty cool. Well, I mean, it's been good chatting with you all. You know, we're going to take a short break and get y'all to get a little feel. How you feel now? You feel okay?
Yes,
For
sir.
your first little photo shoot and got some pictures going on and all that. So how do you feel being in front of the camera?
Anxious.
Anxious? You ready for the world?
Probably not yet.
Are you ready for the world?
Yes, sir.
Look, if a war starts, I'm coming to your house. Are you packing? You got a gun yet?
No, sir.
Pop, get her a gun. No, I'll get a gun right now. You know, she may hold back a little bit. Yeah, but once again, thank you guys, man. And we're gonna take a short break, and we'll be back, and we'll see if we can find us some more victims out there. You know, if not, I'll victimize y'all again. Is that okay? Okay. Thank you. We'll be back in a few minutes.
This song goes out to anyone in your life who gave you a positive push, was a positive presence, whether it be a brother, a sister, a co-worker, a best friend. See, but in my life, it was my mother. And my words of encouragement was always from her Bible. I will trust him, though he slays me. Mama's word in adversity. Got 1,000 hills are all mine. Mama said this in the good times. Mama's got a Bible. Mama's got a word. Mama said some things always
you're mad to know what you had. But wait 1 minute, my friend, I've got some news for you. The word of the Lord has come to say, don't worry about it. Just hold your head up, my child. It's restoration day. He's gonna replace everything the devil stole, so you don't have to cry no more. Just lift your voice for restoration. It's finally come. It's finally come. Celebrate and have some fun. So let's rejoice, 'cause it's our time for restoration. And I'm so glad. Just clap those hands, y'all, and shout hallelujah. Hallelujah. The time has come, my friend, to celebrate his win over the enemy. Now he has given us victory to live in perfect health and to walk in abundant way. Now he's restored, well, our families. Yes, sir. And he has brought us out of poverty. Well, all right. So stomp your feet and jump for joy. Come on, let's praise the Lord. Every man, woman, girl, and boy. Yeah. Restoration has finally come. Well, all right. It's time to celebrate. It's time to celebrate and have some fun. So let's rejoice, 'cause it's our time for restoration. And I'm so glad. Yeah, yeah. Everybody just clap your hands. Let me hear you just clap your hands. If God's been good to you, clap your hands. Let me hear you just clap those hands. Everybody just clap your hands. Let me hear you just clap those hands. If God's been good to you, clap those hands together. Restoration has finally come. Yes, it has. To celebrate. It's our time. And have some fun. So let's rejoice, 'cause it's our time for restoration. And I'm so glad. Restoration has finally come. To celebrate. It's been so good to me. Have some fun. So let's rejoice, 'cause it's our time for restoration. Yes, it is. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Restoration. The Bible declares has finally come. It's time to celebrate everything that the Lord has done. So let's rejoice. You are chosen generation. You're royal priesthood. Don't hold your head down. A resurrection has finally come, yeah. The King of Glory has come down. Yes, and he's the Lord God strong and mighty. The Lord God mighty in battle. Yes, he is. I know he is. Horns blow. Yeah. Go on, praise. Yeah, I see you over there, mama. Yeah, I see you, Pop. Go ahead. Just one time. Come on. Well, all right.
All right, welcome back to the Bishop's Roundtable. I have another guest, Miss Summer. I'm not going to try to pronounce some other name. Tell me, give it to me again. What is it?
It's Summer.
Right there, but go ahead.
Summer de Melendez-Flores.
Who?
De Melendez.
De Melendez.
Melendez.
Melendez-Flores.
Flores. Yes.
Okay. So it's obvious. There's some Cubans that's probably about your complexion. Your race is what?
I'm white.
You're white? I'm a white girl. I'm a white girl. So how did you, so you also bilingual?
Yes, I am.
Say something in Spanish. I want to hear this. Let me see if I can understand that. Go ahead.
Me vine aquí a la conferencia para hablar con ustedes.
What'd she say? Okay, all right. So daughter's bilingual too. So how did you learn that language? How did you come about it? Was it interesting or what?
Well, it's a unique story,
Mm-hmm.
and I like talking about my experience because I think it's beneficial to others.
Okay.
But I'm self-taught, so essentially, I was going through a major depression,
Mm-hmm.
and this was back in 2007, and I got a job, and I worked with a lot of Hispanics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they didn't speak not a word. They kept calling me bonita. I didn't know what it meant. I said, well, they could be saying God knows what to me.
Uh-huh.
But so I bought a book. I bought, well, in all fairness, I bought 2 books. I bought Spanish for Dummies, and I bought a Spanish-English dictionary, and I started listening to Selena
Okay.
because she has a bilingual album, and she has the letters in both languages. And I would write down certain phrases that I wanted to practice to talk to these people I worked with. And then they would talk back to me, and then I was lost.
So how long did it take you to learn that with yourself being self-taught? Because sometimes people can go through 4 years of high school and still don't learn. So how long did it take you to self-learn?
Well, I was obsessed with Spanish. Spanish for me was any moment that I had to look at my books and talk to people and listen to the TV, the radio. Mariah was 4 when I started learning, I believe. So, but it took me a good year to get the basics down really well. And then at that point, I just lacked vocabulary, but you just kind of fill in the blanks at that point.
Okay. So, Mariah, so how did you name her?
Oh, you're talking about
Mariah. How did you come about the name Mariah?
So Mariah is named after Mariah Carey.
Can Mama sing too?
Annoyingly, though, right?
Is it annoyingly? Is it good?
Look,
Come on.
that said it all.
Oh yeah, that said it all. Okay. But I mean, you don't have to be all melodious and everything. You can sing a little bit, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're a single mom.
Essentially, yes.
Essentially, you're a single mom. So explain essentially. I dissect words. I dissect them. Essentially, what do you mean essentially?
Well, I mean, basically meaning I've been married, but not to Mariah's dad or anything, but we separated at this point. So.
Okay. So, is it tough being a single mom?
Oh yeah, in different ways.
Okay. Tell me, how do you balance the job, and then you have kids, and some of them are doing virtual school. Mariah's in school. So how do you balance that?
Well, first and foremost, I've been at my current job for a total of 7 years. So I've established at my job a certain level of, guess what I'm trying to say is they know my work ethic. They know that I'm punctual. They know that that's important to me. So if I ever have to miss or I'm late, they know it's because of a real reason. So with that being said, if I have to miss work because I have to help with virtual or something, because that's happened. It's not like it's going to kill me at my job, but luckily I have a good job where it's like a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday type job. So that's really helpful when it comes to the kids and their schedules and things like that.
So how's virtual school? How are your kids? How are you handling virtual school? What are some of the challenges of as a parent of being with your kids doing virtual school?
Well, I think the main thing is I can't keep up with their work and like what they're really doing, what they're really working on, because they have to log into their own stuff. I can only do so much. Plus, my daughter's always logging in when I'm at work. So, And I think it's just an experience for them as well because they have to virtually reach out to their teachers and virtually raise their hand.
Oh, okay.
You know, to ask a question, and it's just it's an experience.
Is there a difference in their grades when they're in school and when they're in virtual school? Is there a big difference?
Well, my other daughter just started this semester, so we'll see. I'm not sure.
Okay.
She was in person last semester, which but she's starting a whole new school, so it's like middle school. So it's been a change.
So you're in banking. Did you go to school to get into banking, or is that something you picked up as well?
I started as a teller, and I mean, I just was very, I love the operational aspect, and I took it very seriously. And I think over time, they saw that, they saw the potential. Being bilingual helps.
It helps a lot. So you're in banking. You started out as a teller.
I did.
And now you are...
I'm a personal banker and a business advocate.
And a business advocate. So is that where you want to stop, or where else do you want to go? Tell me some of the things. I mean, I know sometimes people make it complacent where they are. Some people want to go further. What do you want to do when it comes down to your field? Do you like what you do?
Well, I do like what I do because I know I help people every day.
Right.
I'm very much in a field of service.
Okay.
So getting to know people, making rapport with my customers, getting to know them on a personal level is important. So that way you know how to help them if you know what they got going on.
Right.
So is it where I want to stop? No. I have other interests outside of banking. I think I'm good at what I do. I think I could go farther. I'm looking into other things, hopefully.
Okay. So you're kind of like, you still kind of like writing that next chapter, right?
Always.
Yeah. So how do you, with your kids, okay, you have a teenager. Is Mariah the only teenager?
She ain't even looking over here. She is. I have a preteen.
You have a preteen?
And I have another smaller daughter.
So when they hit that 13, 14, 15, 16, do you have girls, all girls? You have a boy, all girls? All girls. Do they get along?
Any prayer requests are welcome.
Have all girls.
Yeah.
So how is that dealing with having all girls? Because I know most of the time, sometimes ladies would like to have boys. Did you ever want to have a boy?
Yeah.
You ever thought about that?
Sure, yeah.
But you got girls. Okay. So how is that dealing with girls versus, just...
Well, I don't know what it's like otherwise.
Okay.
But I do know they're all different.
Okay.
There's obviously some similarities. I feel like emotional, what's the word I'm looking for? Emotional, like points for each one. Like, at a certain point, because of their age, they're going to be going through certain milestones. Is what I want to say. Emotional milestones.
Okay.
So
how do you feel? How do you feel when your children? Because I got to talk parent to parent,
Yeah.
So how do you feel when your children may, disappoint you? I learned that from Narada's grandfather. Cause I came from a different family. My daddy was like, he'd cuss you out, just get it over with. He didn't have this, and he was, he had anger, you get mad. But I remember talking to Narada's grandfather, years ago, and he would just say things like, especially when I used to mess up, when he would talk to me about, because I was, dating his daughter, married to his daughter, he would say, I'm disappointed in you. I never heard anybody say disappointed in you. My dad would just knock you out and just be gone with it. So,
Lord.
be done with
I
it.
know how that goes.
And so, how do you handle disappointments when it comes to your children? And because sometimes kids don't know the pressure that a mother may feel in this case, and also as a father may feel. How do you feel when your kids make mistakes?
Well, it depends. It depends on the mistake. It depends on the kid because they're all, at a different level.
Okay.
So I feel like I do consider the level of their age. I consider the level of maturity. However, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong.
Yeah.
So if it's something that's pretty clear, that, you didn't listen to me, then it's one reaction.
Yeah.
But if it's something where you made a poor decision and you knew you could have done better, I may approach it a little bit differently.
Yeah. Okay. So you are the kind of person that's probably, I can say you're probably loving mother.
Yeah,
You think you're pretty
so.
loving?
I
Did
think
your mom,
so.
Did your mom love you, Mariah? You think so? You gonna give her $1? Okay. So I guess that you came from, where did you move from?
I'm very enthusiastic. We're originally from South Carolina.
South Carolina. So you moved here, and you have how much family here?
Just me and my kids.
So it's pretty much, so do you have a support system with you and your kids, or how does that work?
Well, over the years, we joined a church. We were there for a long time. That was important.
Okay.
It's always important to have a support system.
Okay.
That, and then I have another daughter, she's my little one, so I had her in Mississippi, so her family, her dad's side, they are a certain, they do provide some familial support if needed.
So what type, I always talking to different, because when you're talking to African American parents and when you're talking to Caucasian parents, they pretty much handle things differently. So how do you do discipline? Do you talk to them and put them in timeout, or what do you do? You get Mariah.
That's Mariah's question.
That's Mariah's
no,
question.
I don't really do timeout. I mean, that's for like a little babe, like a little kid. Let me tell you, Mariah, like when she was little, timeout for what? It's not going to change anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I've definitely given some spankings.
Okay.
But they get to a certain age where that's pointless.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it just depends. I mean, I have an 8-year-old, and a spanking is not.
Don't work.
If I take away the tablet, though.
Oh yeah, that works. Yeah.
That's gonna break her heart.
What about the audience? Y'all hear that? We have African American kids in the audience. Do y'all get spankings or do y'all get whoopings?
Well,
yeah, I mean that's the kind of different. It's different. Spanking or whooping.
No, you gonna be.
So how many of y'all get punched? My dad used to punch me.
Oh Lord!
When I got a certain age, he would punch me. But
I can't do that.
I learned. That's when I started boxing. Cause I know how to box. So I know how to box and weed. So you have biracial kids. Biracial kids.
All of them, yeah.
All of them. So how do you catch flack behind that, or do people ever look at you and look at your kids, and how do you deal with that if that happens?
Well, in my case, not all my kids are mixed with the same thing, so they don't all look the same.
Okay.
Or they don't all look, they're mixed with the same thing.
Okay.
So I mean, everybody pretty much agrees I have beautiful children. But do I get any psych? I'll tell you one thing. When I first came to Mississippi, this was back in 2010, and we moved here 2 weeks after the oil spill.
Okay.
The BP oil spill. And I was registering Mariah for school, and this was at, I don't remember, it was in Bull Market, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, so on the paper, the registration, that was back when they did it on paper, it had to pick her race, and it had, white, black. It didn't even have a box for other. Okay. And it said choose one.
And you didn't know what to choose.
Well, I was like, I asked the receptionist because I was in the office, and I was like, excuse me, this is this.
That was a white way. Excuse me. The black mother, like, yo.
I don't know, but anyway, so I was like, this option here is not. She's two races. I said she's black and she's white, and she told me straight up. She said you're gonna have to pick one, and I said, what do you mean? I said, are you insinuating I need to falsify this document? Because I was like, she's both.
That's the white way.
And she just shrugged her shoulders. She was just like, that's just what you got to put. So, I mean, I haven't really, like, on a personal level, other than, I mean, I'll say from my own family, when I was pregnant with Mariah, they knew that she was going to be biracial. There was a little flack from my own family.
Okay. So did that bother you? How did that bother you a lot? Did they kind of like outcast you or not speak, or what did they do? Have they
I feel like they had, and you know how some families can be. You know, you have the whispering. They just kind of like talk behind your back, like. And I don't know. There was a lack of support. Okay. I'll say, in some areas from some people. But when the baby came along. They saw how beautiful she was.
So they got a chance to Mariah. Mariah, did you bat them eyes at them when you did that?
Well, you know, one of my issues too was as a teenager, because I had Mariah when I was 19.
Okay.
She's 17 now. I'm 36 years old. So me being an adolescent, I didn't really have the support I needed. Which led to a lot of decisions that I made. Okay. I didn't have somebody, first of all, I didn't have both parents around. Okay. Secondly, the one that I did have around, which was my mother, was in her own world. Okay. And so the attention that I needed during crucial development, emotional development, and then, the daddy issues and all of that, there was just a lot of stuff that wasn't addressed when it should have been, coping skills that were not learned, that I wasn't even guided through certain traumatic events. Okay. So it wasn't just that I had a child when I was young.
But having a child when you was young, and you were probably just a baby yourself, was that, because we have a lot of young ladies in the audience, what would you tell them about making that choice?
Just don't wait. Just wait. Okay. Just wait. You have your whole life. I mean, another thing to really consider is that being a parent, it's really important to be emotionally stable. Even if you are by yourself as a parent, like a single parent, having that emotional stability and being mentally strong, because everybody can go through a hard spot. Everybody can go through a certain degree of struggle, whether that's complete poverty or whether that's just struggling to find a job or just with family members, whatever the case is. If you're stronger and more stable emotionally and mentally, you're just more likely to go through those issues with more ease and essentially get to the.
So do you think that some of the young girls, you think they're emotionally mature or strong enough to have children? You don't think so?
No.
Why not?
It doesn't matter.
They think they do, though, right?
No. Well, you can be very mature for your age. However, you're never going to be a 16-year-old and be ready for a baby. Never. It's just not going to happen. Okay. Because a child needs certain things from you, regardless of your age. That they're not going to get. Now, I do believe that if you have a baby early, and that's just your situation, I believe that you can reflect on that and it can help you mature more quickly. But, you just essentially, just wait. Yeah,
just I tell young ladies, especially when it comes to men, they don't even know what they want.
Well,
they don't know what they want. They see something, they call it love, but it's really lust. And that's what they're thinking. Like, I love you. They should change that conversation to I lust you, because they don't even know the person, because they don't do like we did. We back in my day coming up, we called it taking company. That means that when my daddy decided that she can date, she didn't go out on no date, she didn't go to the movies and none of that stuff. We call it taking company. He had to come over to the house, and they had to go in the living room and sit in the living room, and they had to talk. And so by this time, you got little brother, little sister peeping in there, looking at them, calling them, messing with their sister. But they called that court and they had to sit down and had to get to know somebody. And today, I don't think sometimes they even, I think my daughter may be kind of scared to introduce me to her boyfriend. She brought one to me one time at the ball game when she was in college. And she walked up to him, Dad, this is David. I said, what you gonna do to me? I don't care nothing about him. What you want, boy? So he kind of looked at me like, your daddy crazy. I want them to think I'm crazy anyway. But, I tell, and this is what girls need to learn. Because I talk to boys from an adult male point of view as one who made mistakes. Because I have kids, by other relationships. And it doesn't mean I don't care about my kids, but I tell you, child support ain't no joke. Men, y'all listening? They coming for your check, okay? But, and I tell them that most of the time when guys are thinking certain things, they just, they're not mentally strong to have that relationship. And I was talking to some guys one time, and I overheard their conversation, and they was talking about, talking to the girl, sneaking her out the house or sneaking her out the window. I said, okay. I said, let me ask you this.
Well, that's just disrespectful, first of all.
And then, but I asked the guys, and this is what they think, ladies. This is what they think. I say, so, you want her to sneak out the window? I said, okay, let me ask you a question. You got a daughter. I say, what if somebody try to sneak your daughter out the window, sneak them out the house? Oh, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. I said, yeah, but it ain't happening for your daughter. But you want to sneak somebody else out. I said, look, be careful because I think it'll come back to you.
Right.
And that's because they're not thinking. Well, I mean, that's something that we're going to springboard off of. When we'll put together your talk show, come up with a name, and we'll have some people come on. We'll have that discussion. Sometimes you have to have that discussion. Once again, it's nice meeting you guys, and I appreciate my audience being very attentive, and so we're looking to come back, and some of you can think about a show that you want to do. Once again, this is the Bishop's Roundtable, and we're going to get on about it here. I see my friend Otis came in. We're going to let him meet a couple of people he have not met before. So once again, thank you for tuning in to the Bishop's Roundtable.